My fellow Americans, let us speak heart to heart. My name is Bill Tucker from Wisconsin, and I want to be your president. I have the solutions you've been calling for to save our great nation. America is in big trouble, and our politicians from both parties are lying to us. They say that unemployment is around 9%, but it's actually 25%. 50 million Americans, our neighbors, are out of work because they are not counting our neighbors who have used up their unemployment benefits. Gasoline prices at the pump are going through the roof. The federal government charged the oil companies big money for the Gulf of Mexico oil spill, but failed to stop the oil companies from passing that cost on to us, the underemployed and the underpaid. Do you realize that a full 25% of the per gallon gasoline price at the pump is federal and state gasoline tax? Who did that to us? Our politicians, both Democrats and Republicans. And this nonsense that I will split the Republican vote is another lie. I will win in a landslide because I am the only candidate bringing us all together. It doesn't matter which party is in control of Congress. They both have spent our wonderful nation into poverty over the past 30 years. Who sent our jobs overseas? Who sends our children to die or be maimed in foreign wars? It's time to bring our troops home now. Who spent us into trillions of dollars of debt to China? Who wrecked the world's economy? Who overtaxes us on everything we earn, wear, eat, drive? Our professional, lifelong politicians, that's who, both Democrats and Republicans. And the list of government greed goes on and on like a never-ending horror story. Why do we have a national education department when our education is dumbing down our kids? Schools are a local states' rights issue. If you don't like the education your kids are getting, change it locally. It's time to take back control of our government. We cannot expect government to be and do all things for all people all the time. This is the land of opportunity. If you don't like something, change it yourselves. As your president, I can help, but the job is yours. America has become so wealthy that we've become fat and lazy, expecting government to do for us instead of doing for ourselves as we used to do before the socialists took our power away. Almost half of all Americans are living off government handouts. Who did that to us? Made us slaves to government. You know who. Congress. That's who. We must break free of their slavish hold over us, and alternating between the Republicans and Democrats isn't solving anything. It's time for all real Americans, Tea Partiers, independents, Black Americans, white Americans, Chinese Americans, American Indians, men and women of all nationalities, to unite under the Constitution Party, the third largest party in the United States. It's time to come together and throw the lifetime politicians out of office. I will do just that with term limits. Just like we limit the president to 2 terms, so too must Congress be so limited. And I will do that with your help at the ballot box. I will not be attacking the other candidates for the errors of their ways while serving in government. We all know what they've done wrong. I will be speaking only about my solutions to our national ills. I have a 57-point platform that will correct the ills of our great nation on my website at www.billtuckerforpresident.com. And together, you and I can save America virtually overnight, and the whole world will benefit in the process. Taxes must be greatly reduced, and all Americans must have a job. Government cannot create jobs. It can only drain jobs by overtaxing the working. I will reduce taxation dramatically by eliminating the IRS tax codes that favor the wealthy over the working poor. Do you realize that under President Obama, government has doubled in number of employees? Who's paying for all those new government workers? You and I are. How many of us will be forced to work for the government because there are no more private sector jobs? And then, where will the taxes come from to pay for those jobs? It's time to reduce government and government spending. Think the corporate invested millionaires in Congress are going to do that with their hand out to billionaires who are buying them, dragging us kicking and screaming into a one-world government of big business and government slaves? That's their goal, to enslave us all into working as slaves. I can and will stop that and reverse this terrible direction we're heading in. It's time to take our liberty back, and the place to start is by invoking our constitutional rights. You know you've been looking for a leader to stand up and express what you've been thinking all this time. Well, here I am, your fellow American. It is time for a change back to our roots, and I can do it just in time with your help at the ballot box. It's time for America. Now you are probably wondering, just who is this upstart Bill Tucker who would be President of the United States? I am a nobody. I am not a wealthy man, not even close to a millionaire, like all the members of Congress are. But in that, I am every man. I have spent my entire adult life in service to my country and my community as a youth volunteer, working for free for over a dozen nonprofit organizations, including the Boy Scouts, Junior Achievement, and as a Naval Academy representative, as well as many others. But please, don't vote for me because of my accomplishments as a Navy officer and a company executive. Vote for me so that I can correct America's course back to reduced taxes, reduced gas pump prices, and put every American back to work. Oh, and by the way, I have an American birth certificate. It's time for America. I'm Bill Tucker, and I have a platform we can believe in. I am a candidate for the Constitution Party for the candidacy for presidency of the United States of America. In God we trust.